At the age of 14, Hung was selected by a teacher who had connections to the Hong Kong film industry to perform stunts on a movie. This brief foray into the industry piqued his interest in film, and he took particular interest in the operation of film cameras. As the eldest of the troupe, Hung would give his opera school brothers pocket money from his earnings, endearing him greatly to his young friends. Shortly before leaving the academy at the age of 16, Hung suffered an injury that left him bedridden for an extended period, during which time his weight ballooned. After finding work in the film industry as a stuntman, he was given a nickname after a well-known Chinese cartoon character, Sammo.
Hung appeared as a child actor in several films for Cathay Asia and Bo Bo Films during the early 1960s. His film debut was in the 1961 film Education of Love. In 1962, he made his first appearance alongside Jackie Chan in the film Big and Little Wong Tin Bar. In 1970, Hung began working for Raymond Chow and the Golden Harvest Film Company. He was initially hired to choreograph the action scenes for the very first Golden Harvest film, The Angry River, 1970. His popularity soon began to grow, and due to the quality of his choreography and disciplined approach to his work, he again caught the eye of celebrated Taiwanese director, King Hu. Hung choreographed Who's the Fate of Lee Kon, 1973. In the same year, Hung went to South Korea to study Hapkido under Master Ji Han Jae. Toward the late 1970s, Hong Kong cinema began to shift away from the Mandarin language, epic martial art films popularized by directors such as Chong Che. In a series of films, Hung, along with Jackie Chan, began reinterpreting the genre by making comedic Cantonese kung fu. While these films still strongly featured martial arts, it was mixed with a liberal dose of humor. Hung's martial arts films of the 1980s helped reconfigure how martial arts were presented on screen. While the martial arts films of the 1970s generally featured highly stylized fighting sequences in period or fantasy settings, Hung's choreography, set in modern urban areas, was more realistic and frenetic, featuring long one-on-one fight scenes. The fight sequences from several of these films, such as those in Winners and Sinners, 1982, and Wheels on Meals, 1985, came to define 1980s martial arts movies.
Hung had the idea of producing a martial arts epic with Chen Lung Jackie Chan in the lead role, but the film was never made. Hung's plans were detailed on his website, but after a year the announcement was removed. The film rights have since been acquired by Warren Zeed, the producer of American Pie and Final Destination. Hung's grandmother was martial arts actress Chin Si-eng, who starred in almost 80 films between 1941 and 2002. His grandfather, a film director and writer, Hung Chung-ho, directed over 40 films between 1937 and 1950. Hung's younger brother, Lee Kai-kit, has worked on almost 40 films, many of which Hung was also involved with. Lee also worked on Hung's martial law series. He works primarily as a supporting actor and action director. He has a circular scar on the right side of his face, just above his lip. In the early days of his film career, Hung was involved in a street fight outside a Kowloon nightclub, and was stabbed with a broken cola bottle. On the 5th of August 2009, Hung became ill during the filming of Ip Man 2 in the Guangdong province of Foshan. He was admitted to hospital and underwent a heart surgery operation. He was discharged and returned to work within days. He cited a combination of his weight, his love of cigars and long filming hours resulting in fatigue and irregular meals as the cause.